Well, folks, this is Marty out here in Ozark Outdoors. Today I'm out here at the Indian Trail shooting range, and got the Grendel rifles out again, doing a little comparison. CZ 527 and the AR-15 Bear Creek Arsenal. Doing a little shootout between the two, shooting some of the same ammo in each gun at 100, and then I'm going to go out to 200, see what kind of differences they make. Show you some targets here in a little while. Well, this is the hunting shell that I shoot out of this gun. It's the 120 grain Sierra Soft Point benchmark powder. Well, I checked the groups here on the CZ, and it's 1.5 inches at 100 yards with those 100 grain soft points. The 107 grain Match King that I tried out of it, one of them hit just off of the paper there, and it would have been also, it would have been probably a little less because it almost was touching the paper. It would have probably been about a 1.4 inch group. I guess that there's a little bit farther, so yeah, it would have still been about 1.5 inch group with the 107 grain Match King, but they shot pretty high. Now the 140 grain, man, they shoot good out of both guns. That's a 0.9. It's just hair under 1 inch at 100. And that's the load for it. I'm getting 23.45. That's pretty decent speed for a 140 grain bullet out of this little case. The 100 grain hollow point, it's about a 0.95, so it's under 1 inch as well. I had 3 that I had done a little bit of testing with a while back. I've got a bunch of the bullets, but I just haven't really got time to fool with them much. Been doing some other stuff, but they're a Controlled Chaos, 110 grain Controlled Chaos. Lee Defense, I think, is the name on the box. And it's getting pretty decent velocity, 26.48, 26.70, in that range when I checked them on the chronograph. And it wasn't too bad either. It was just a little over 1 inch at 100 yards. Well, this way here there'll be more. About one. They're about 1 inch. They're right at 1.5 inches at 100 yards out of the CZ. They would be a really good hunting bullet. The way they're designed to break into 3 or 4 separate pieces with the, well, actually, the petals, I think, break off into 4 pieces, and the shank of the bullet keeps on traveling, so you got 5 actual wound channels from those. Hopefully next year I'll be able to try them out on some deer. Well, the heavier cases with the 107 grain Match Kings, shot almost a 3 inch group, 2.8 at 100 yards. In the lighter cases, 115 to 107 grain cases, yeah, just hair over 2 inch group, 2.1 at 100 yards. 100 grain hollow points, there was a 1.4 inch group at 100 yards. think the winner here in both rifles actually is the 140 grain. It's right at .93 at 100 yards. So at 100 yards, the winner is going to the 140 grain Match King at about 23 to 2400 feet per second. I haven't checked it velocity out of the CZ rifle, but the velocity I got out of the AR was 2345 average at 35 degrees, and it's about 37 right now out here. So temperature wise, it's pretty much the same as it was the day I chronographed that load. So I'm going to move these same targets out to 200 now and shoot them again at 200 with the same ammo and see what kind of difference we get. Well, I walked over here to the 100-yard shooting range. There was a deer standing down there. It's going up the hill there now. 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. Well, folks, I'm back home now. I got the targets out. Got the dial caliper here. I'll do some checking. The AR-15 with the 140 grain Match Kings. I think I already checked this earlier, but it was right at 9/10 of an inch at 100 yards. 200 yards. Really didn't get a whole lot worse. Still under an inch, 200 yards. So I was pretty happy with that. The 107 grain Match King load in the lighter cases, they shot fairly decent at 100. You know, about 2-inch group there. And at 200 yards, not 2.5 inches. Well, the group set with the AR-15 and the 100 grain hollow point, they were about 1.48 there. And at 200 yards, right at 1.4 inches. It's not too bad. Pretty happy with those 100 grain hollow points out of the AR. They shoot pretty good. The 100 grain hollow point load is that right there. I didn't have that paper with me when I was shooting them earlier, but it's 1.76 overall length with the quantity comparator on the end of my dial caliper. 29.8 grains benchmark, and it's averaging 2860. That was like 50 degrees that day. The heavier cases with the 107 grain Match Kings, they leave a little bit to be desired. 2.8 inches there at 100 yards, and this is about 4.7 at 200 yards. So they're not that good. Now the results with the CZ. The 140 Match King that I had loaded for the AR shot pretty good. It's at 100 yards, 1.895, and at 200 yards, about 1.3. I shot 4 shots at it, and one of them hit way over here, and I think that was me. So then I fired another shot, and it went in where the other 2 was, so that's the group I'm going to go off of. The 120 grain soft point at 100 yards out of the CZ they're about an inch and a half group. And at 200 yards, it opened up considerably. I probably should have fired another shot. It's 3.7 inches. I'd say if I'd have fired another shot, it would have probably fell right in here with these other two. That could have been me or a little bit of wind. I don't know. It's kind of calm and then it gusted a little bit, so it could have been wind caught it. With the 100 grain hollow points at 200 yards, at 100 they were shooting really high, but at 200 yards they was pretty much right on. I had one wild one here, probably me, but that's not too bad. Even if you take the widest of these here, it's still only 1.8 inches there, but that 3-shot group right there is under ½ inch. Those 100 grain hollow points shoot good. Again, that was those 110 grain control chaos bullets at 100 yards. There's about an inch and a quarter. So anyway, both guns seems to like this 100 grain hollow point load really well, and the 140 grain Match King load shoots really good out of both of them. And this 120 grain soft point load, granted I had one outside the group here. It's probably my fault, but I'm pretty confident in it, and I had it zeroed 3 inches high at 100 yards. When I put my 200 yard mark in the scope, it's a Burris ballistic plex. When I use the 200 yard mark at 200 yards, I still hit about 1.5 inches high with it. So I can bring that zero down. I'd say if I brought it down to where it was just shooting 2 inches high at 100, that would have probably been right in there at 200 yards with the 200 yard mark in the scope. I did the same thing when I shot the 140s. This is where they hit at 100, about 1 inch high. And I used the 200 yard mark in the scope for them, and they hit low. They hit 3 inches low. So, they got a lot more drop to them. They're slow. They're 23-40, but if they group like that, I can deal with the lower velocity. It's not too bad. Well, hopefully somebody out there has a 24-inch Bear Creek Arsenal barrel or a CZ 527 24-inch barrel, 6.5 Grendel. Maybe these loads might work for you. I think I'm going to quit searching around for different loads and just work with these 3 loads here that I know that works good. I've got a ton of 140 grain Match King bullets and a bunch of the 100 grain hollow point bullets. And the 120 grain soft points are not too awful expensive, and I think they'd be a good deer round. So hopefully this helps somebody. Well, it's been a learning experience with this 6.5 Grendel. Both of them seem to like the bullets that are not very low drag bullets. They're just kind of old school Match Kings and soft points. They seem to shoot pretty good out of it. Can't really complain too much with groups like that at 200 and 100. I'm pretty happy with them. Well, this is Marty, Ozark Outdoors. Good luck in all your adventures, and thanks for watching.